What if the sun was merely a myth, a faded whisper on the wind, a story told to children who had never truly seen the dawn? Imagine a world where perpetual twilight reigns, where the sky is a permanent canvas of bruised purples and charcoal greys, and shadows are not fleeting visitors, but the unyielding architects of reality. This was the grim existence of the villagers of Viridian, nestled deep within the treacherous canyons of the Whispering Peaks, a place forgotten by time and, seemingly, by light itself. For generations, the sun had been absent, obscured by an eternal shroud of cloud and mountain, plunging their lives into a twilight that gnawed at the spirit and dulled the senses. The very air hung heavy, with a damp chill, carrying the scent of perpetually damp earth, and the subtle metallic tang of fear, a constant companion in a realm where unseen dangers lurked just beyond the meager glow of hearth and lamp. Life in Viridian was a relentless exercise in survival, a daily testament to human resilience stretched to its breaking point. The village, a haphazard collection of squat, stone and timber dwellings, clung precariously to the cliffside, its architecture reflecting the pervasive gloom. Windows were few and small, designed more for keeping out the cold and the shadow blights. Amorphous entities whispered to haunt the deepest parts of the perpetual night than for inviting in any precious sliver of light. Pathways were treacherous, uneven cobbles slick with moisture and worn smooth by centuries of hurried footsteps, each journey outside a calculated risk. Agriculture was a desperate gamble. Only fungi and hardy, shade-loving roots thrived in the meager soil, supplemented by the occasional lean meat from cunning traps set in the surrounding gloom-filled forests. The concept of vibrant color was theoretical, relegated to ancient tapestries whose dyes had long since faded, leaving only muted echoes of a brighter past. People moved with a subtle slump to their shoulders, their voices often hushed, their eyes constantly scanning the periphery, not out of suspicion for each other, but out of an ingrained caution against the encroaching darkness. Laughter was rare, a fleeting, almost defiant sound quickly absorbed by the oppressive quiet. Hope, like the sun, was a commodity as scarce as true warmth, a luxury almost forgotten amidst the daily grind for subsistence. The villagers' spirits were as muted as their surroundings, shrouded by an apathy born of generations of deprivation, their collective memory of true light fading into the realm of children's bedtime stories, dismissed as fanciful dreams. Yet, amidst this profound and crushing darkness, a different kind of light persisted, flickering stubbornly in the heart of a young woman named Elara. Her name, meaning bright, shining one, seemed a cruel jest to some, a defiant prophecy to others, but to Elara, it was a constant, resonant hum, a call to a purpose only she seemed truly to comprehend. Elara was not merely a lantern maker. She was an artisan of illumination, a weaver of forgotten brilliance, her craft elevated to an almost sacred art in a world starved for luminosity. Unlike the majority of Viridian's inhabitants, whose features were often etched with worrying and resignation, Elara possessed an arresting intensity. Her eyes, the color of moss after a soft rain, held a depth that belied her years, and within their depths, a spark, not of conventional light, but of an inner fire that burned with an almost ethereal glow, reflecting the myriad colors of the gems she worked with. Her hands, nimble and strong, were always slightly stained with the fine dust of polished crystals, the oils of rare woods, and the subtle iridescent sheen of components unknown to ordinary craftsmen. They were hands that worked with precision and passion, coaxing radiance from the very essence of shadow, performing a delicate dance between raw material and luminous potential. Her posture, while not overtly defiant, carried an underlying strength, a quiet refusal to be bent by the prevailing gloom, an almost magnetic focus that set her apart from the stooped, shadowed figures who populated the village. Her small workshop, tucked into a crevice of the cliff face and barely distinguishable from its somber neighbors, was a sanctuary of flickering life. Unlike other homes, it was bathed in a kaleidoscope of soft moving lights, the blues of moonlight-infused glass, the warm golds of fire-rich metals, the greens of luminescent morse captured within delicate filigree, and the deep purples of rare crystals harvested from subterranean veins. Here, the pervasive chill and despair of Viridian seemed to recede, replaced by the warmth of Ilara's forge and the quiet, almost melodic hum of her focused concentration. She moved with an innate grace, her slender form silhouetted against the dancing shadows, her brow furrowed in intense concentration, as she meticulously shaped the piece of star-forged metal, gently coaxes a rare glowworm essence into a crystal phial. Each of her lanterns was a masterpiece, not just a vessel for flame, but a carefully constructed ecosystem of captured brilliance, a miniature world of curated light. They ranged from small, intricate personal talismans that pulsed with a gentle protective warmth cherished by lone travelers, or nervous mothers to grand ceremonial beacons designed to ward off the encroaching shadow blights from the village perimeter during the longest, darkest nights. Her work was more than a livelihood. It was a deeply personal crusade against the despair that sought to consume her people, a tangible manifestation of her unwavering belief that true light still existed waiting to be rediscovered, a defiant whisper in the face of an eternity of twilight. The magic surrounding Ilara's craft was not a frivolous enchantment, but a deeply ingrained aspect of Viridian's forgotten history, a legacy whispered down through generations of lantern keepers who hailed from her own lineage. It was said that the first light before the Great Shroud descended upon the world was not merely from a distant sun, but from the very heart of the world, woven into the fabric of existence by ancient beings known as the Lumina Weavers. Their craft, passed down through a chosen lineage, involved not merely shaping crude materials, but imbuing them with profound resonance, drawing upon elemental energies, the latent power of deep earth crystals, and the subtle vibrations of moonlight captured on specific nights of rare clarity. Ilara's lineage traced back to these very weavers, though much of the original, intricate knowledge had been lost, obscured by centuries of darkness, fear, and the gradual erosion of oral tradition. Yet, fragments remained, a series of intricate symbols etched into the underside of her workbench, passed down from her grandmother, symbols she instinctively understood even without formal teaching. A strange, low hum that sometimes emanated from certain rare metals she worked with, a sound that spoke of ancient power, and the undeniable, almost sentient glow that her finished lanterns possessed, a brilliance that transcended mere flame. The lore spoke of emberstone, not a physical rock, but the solidified hope of the Lumina Weavers themselves, said to be scattered across the darkest corners of the world, each fragment holding a memory of pure, unadulterated light. It was believed that the most powerful lanterns contained tiny flecks of this emberstone, or at least materials that resonated profoundly with its latent energy. Ilara didn't explicitly use emberstone, a material considered mythical even by her village's dwindling lawkeepers, but she intuitively sought out materials that seemed to sing to her touch, rare quartz crystals found in the deepest, most inaccessible caves, pulsating with an unseen rhythm. Wood from ancient whisper pines that grew only on the highest, perpetually shrouded peaks, their rings holding the echoes of forgotten seasons. And, most crucially, the iridescent dust gathered from the wings of rare, nocturnal moths that pulsed with a faint, internal luminescence, creatures of the deep night yet embodying light. Her process was less about following a rigid recipe and more about a symbiotic conversation with her materials, a delicate negotiation between the tangible and the ethereal. She would spend hours studying the way light refracted through a newly polished crystal, listening intently to the subtle hum of a heated metal, feeling for the minute shifts in energy as she shaped and bound the components together with an almost spiritual reverence. Each strike of her hammer, each precise twist of her pliers, was accompanied by a silent incantation, a personal appeal to the ancient spirits of light, an invocation of hope into tangible form. This profound magical lore was not merely a romantic tale for Alara. It was the very wellspring of her unwavering resolve, the foundation of her existence. The stories whispered of a great illumination, a time when the sun would return, not by chance or cyclical fate, but by the concerted, deliberate effort of those who refused to let its memory fade. The ancient texts, fragmented and cryptic, hinted at a heart of lumina, a primal source of light believed to be hidden, or perhaps merely dormant, somewhere far beyond the suffocating confines of Viridian, a beacon waiting to be rekindled. This was the quest that burned within Alara, brighter than any flame she crafted, more consuming than any personal desire. She saw her lanterns not just as tools for daily living, but as small persistent acts of rebellion against the prevailing gloom, as beacons guiding her step by painstaking step towards an unimaginable future where the sky would once again blaze with true radiance. Every flicker of light she coaxed into existence was a defiant whisper against the encroaching shadow, a promise to her people that a better, brighter world was not just a myth, but a tangible, achievable possibility. The dull, resigned faces of her neighbors, the endless struggle against the elements, the quiet despair that permeated every interaction, all these fueled her determination, forging her resolve into an unbreakable core. She knew, with a certainty that defied logic and the grim reality of Viridian, that her true purpose was far greater than simply providing light for a dark village. Her craft was merely the first step, an arduous apprenticeship, rekindling a world that had forgotten how to shine, meticulously preparing her for a grander journey into the unknown, a solitary odyssey to retrieve the very essence of light itself and illuminate a world held captive in shadow. Her quest was a silent, unshakable vow, etched not in stone, but in the glowing heart of every lantern she meticulously brought to life, a testament to the enduring power of hope in the face of eternal night.